Hi there, students. Pasture. Pasture is a noun, both countable and uncountable. Let's see, pasture is an area of land covered in grass or other suitable plants for cows and sheep to eat. So you could put your donkey out to pasture. The horses were grazing on the green pastures. As a verb, the owner put his donkey to pasture in a field, and then he saw the wolf coming. Okay, so pasture, to put your animal in a field to eat, or a pasture, land covered with grass or other plants that are good for cattle and sheep. So rich pastures are with lots of food for the animals to eat. So pasture, plants like grass for feeding animals that graze. Then you could put somebody out to pasture. Well, you could put an animal out to pasture. This is when an animal gets old and you allow it to walk freely in a field. So this horse has worked hard for this farm all of his life, and now in his final years, we're going to put him out to pasture, put him out to grass, to let him roam in a field and just eat the pasture. But then you can put somebody out to pasture. This is to force somebody into retirement. This is when somebody is old and you need them to retire. So the old CEO was put out to pasture. I think probably it's about time they put me out to pasture as a teacher. Or a piece of equipment or machinery. You can put a piece of machinery out to pasture. I put my old laptop out to pasture because it was just too slow. Yeah, it had very little memory, for example. Then maybe somebody could go to greener pastures, to go to a new place, to involve yourself in a new situation. I left my job for greener pastures, to leave behind a situation, looking for something better, normally a new job or a new place to live. I left for new pastures new, a new place. I was seeking out greener pastures. Okay, so pasture, the green grass, an open field where you can keep your livestock. To pasture, to put your animals into a pasture to graze. This field will pasture 20 cows. When the pasture is rich and green, then the cows produce really good milk. If the pasture is dry and not very good, then the milk that they produce is not of the same quality. And then to put somebody out to pasture, to force somebody to leave their job, to force them to retire, because they are old. So we put him out to pasture. Okay, we put the old machinery out to pasture and bought new machinery. I think both of the candidates for the current American election should be put out to pasture, and they should find some younger candidates. Because with the advanced age of some presidential candidates, I think they should have been put out to pasture years ago. To retire, to compel somebody to retire, or to allow them to retire as well. So pasture, meadow, grassland, grass, a place where animals can graze or forage. So there were horses grazing in the pasture. The cows were put out to pasture. The farmer planted the big field for pasture. This pasture is good for 100 sheep. It rained. We need it to rain so that the pasture is green again. And then, well, I put my old sewing machine out to pasture. The company put me out to pasture because they said I was too old to continue teaching people. So there you go, to pasture. So pasture is as a verb or a noun, 5 in formality, maybe 6 in formality. I think maybe use it in a semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing. To put somebody out to pasture, 4 in formality. Use informally, semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing. Pastures new, pastures green, 4 in formality again. And then as to origin, the word pasture, well, we got pastor, a shepherd, but from Latin pastura, from pasco, to feed, to graze, to eat grass. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Pasture, to put out to pasture.